So what we have to remember is today 95% of all hydrogen is made from natural gas and coal, which is why there are high prices today. But you can make it using electricity, and green electricity, which means green hydrogen. The way we looked at it, and the hydrogen economy as a whole, is if you think you have to look for a very cheap way of cheap sources and cheap input of power, you have to go in the places where you already have existing infrastructure, existing power. And Paraguay itself is the world's largest exporter of green electricity. It has the Itaipu Dam, which is the second largest hydroelectric dam in the world. It is also one of the largest importer of fertilizer with Brazil, as these are economies which export soybeans, so they use a lot of fertilizer. And the final point on this one, about what is a little bit why are we going in this direction, with hydrogen you make ammonia, and ammonia is the second largest traded chemical in the world. So it's, if you can produce it domestically at large quantity using a very cheap input of power, you can actually be more competitive than its hydrocarbon competitors.
Well, how do I put this delicately? Paraguay hasn't been the most stable of Latin American countries over decades. I mean, now things may have been more stabilized, but there's a high level of poverty and there's a reasonably high level of corruption. I mean, what is to say that this is a stable place for you to have a business over the long term? Because inevitably, in some domains, when you are perceived to be making very high profits in a country where there is a wide amount of wealth disparity, that can lead to higher taxes on your profits. It can also lead to envy, which then leads to you being closed down. I mean, we've seen this story play out with companies in Russia and other places. I'm not saying Paraguay is Russia, but I think you understand the thread of the question here.
100%. And you know, my last 9 years, actually, I was with the World Bank, right? So and I'm very, very acute of all of these issues. At the same time, you know, Paraguay itself has been, you know, has had a stable democracy for the past 40 years. You know, presidents only do one term, and is center-right, is BB+ rated. It is really quite stable in the middle of the Latin American countries. You do have, obviously, there has been issues of corruption in some particular places, but our view and the way we have looked at it, which is partnering with ANDE, the electricity company of Paraguay. And what we have actually is we are taking power with the industrial price, which is a published price. So we really went with all of the transparency possible and having the government and ANDE particularly as a partner into the project. So clearly, you know, these are 20-year investments, right? So you cannot allow yourself to be dependent on possible political tensions. And I think we are seeing even traction with a number of DFIs, whether it's the World Bank or the IDB, who are ready to support the project on a long-term basis.
So bringing this all together in terms of where the end customer is, then do you intend to sell outside of Paraguay, or is it the main customer really just inside the country because of the ecosystem?
So, I mean, first of all, I mean, Paraguay is our first project, right? We are looking at other projects globally, but the idea for us is you have to figure out how to go faster than your competition at a reasonable scale. What gigawatt projects are great, you know, they need to happen in the long term, but today what you can action quickly. And so you have existing power, existing demand. And that demand is not limited to Paraguay. You also have Brazil as part of the Mercosur area. So we are, you know, effectively, with our production, with 100,000 tons a year, we would maybe address about 5% of the demand of ammonia of Mercosur, which is imported, you know, all the way from, you know, Saudi, Qatar, even Russia. So we will start domestically and then grow in scale, so then we can go more internationally.
Hi, I'm Joanna Bersecci, and thank you for watching. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more from CNBC International. Thank you for watching.